yoga. Super excited to be honoring the temple my soul worships in every day. After an amazing call last night with Claudio Savaggi and others who joined in a very small call, but so huge in magnitude that it's no wonder there weren't more who came to talk about the empowered victim dynamic and the 2024 forecast from an astrological perspective that Claudio brought to the table. And we even actually touched on what we'll be doing on April 1st at 7 o'clock, so mark your calendar, which is talking about the major arcana of the tarot in relation to the sacred sojourn of the soul, which is my adaptation of the hero's journey from a soulful perspective that I wrote in my book, The Sacred Sojourn of Now, Fully Committed. I reversed the title and subtitle, but I share this way because I had a call with a friend this morning who is very passionate about perspectives that are true, and yet there is an element to that passion and excitement that actually triggers people's nervous systems for them to shut down and not be able to receive the information, even if it is true. And then the other part of it is pointing out the problems mean that our focus is not on solutions specifically, so there really isn't a safe alternative being presented when the problem is pointed out, which is what I believe we need to shift, and why no longer do I feel the need to wake up anybody, least of all the masses, who have made asses of me and my friends who see the world in a different way because we got labeled and disenfranchised and discredited and pushed out and exiled simply because we didn't fit in with the rest, because we were born to stand out, as were you too. So, that being said, making an ass of you and me is what it means to assume, and I don't believe that we can do that any longer. I believe that it is time to stop trying to wake anyone up to an ugly truth when the dream is far more comfortable until it's not. And what Claudio pointed out last night, and the calls that I had posted to the Peaceful Inner Warriors United channel on YouTube earlier this week or last, is the fact that we're all being asked to look at the mirrors of what we fear or revere outside of us that is showing up, not to be cussed, but to see that we are on the cusp of having muddied waters purified and refined, and to reduce the fines that we've been paying with our lives. Time changes, God does not. And yet, that is where I say, which God are you referring to? For the grantor of dominion is not the same as the grantor of domain, that will claim to have dominion over the lands, air, and waters. Yet, there is a capitalized version of all of it, which is why the Bible speaks of made in the likeness and image of Him, not seeing the Him as the HYMN of the frequencies of this universe, which is one verse, because that's what we're writing with our lives, each and every one of us, a universe into and onto ourselves. It is time to see the multiverse that we are truly part of when we're playing a fifth dimensional chess game that actually has all of the boards tracked just like the blockchain. And we see that every move actually has a ripple effect on every other board, because every other board reflects the relationships that we have within each of the worlds that we actually shift us from etra, to be, into avoir, which is to have. And that is the greatest shift. Ice hawk? Yeah, hawk eyes help us see the lies from a different vantage point, such as what I's doing now. So if you like it, leave a comment down below to let me know what this message means to you and for you. And know that I just am pulling up behind an equinox, which was what Claudio was talking about last night, and Laura, who had also joined in the call, was coming back from an info session on, though we didn't know that, and she was traveling, so wasn't able to share that either. But the point is, it's all connected, and I'm driving through, or traveling, since there's no commercial activity taking place on this trip. I am moving through beautiful lands that I believe our clans have a duty and responsibility to protect and defend, even if we don't have a tribal title of clan on the heart of us all, which is the core, which is what will be weighed at the end of our days. And I say, I reckon the day of reckoning happened now, before then, because when is then, except for now in a different time? So let us stop trying to specify that which is unlimited, to say all of this was just only some of it, except for implied to be all of it, for the convenience of entrapping and capturing those who would identify with part of it. There's a whole lot in here. It comes through me because I'm not consciously thinking about it until I'm in it doing it. And that's what it means to be instead of to have. Yes, I have a lot of knowledge, which is the ledge that I know, and then I go further because there's a lot that I get through intuition, which is the teacher. My soul hired ahead of time to guide me through this life. And you have that intuition as well. It's the still small voice at the end of the day that says we can try again tomorrow. So let's do it. And also see that tomorrow is a future tense that would make us intense in our tenseness unnecessarily, because when we are not present, present where we are, it's very stressful. And that stress is mental, because the first law for Medicism, or the natural laws, is the principle of mentalism, where everything that is of the mind, that can be mind, is mental. And we are not mental. We are real. So let's act like it. Peace. Lord Jai. Namaste. Namago.